Today we have the VMCH Carer Support Team being presented on by Amanda and Rodney Friedman. So Amanda is one of the carer engagement officers in that team, and Rodney is one of the case managers. So I will hand over to them to present on what the program is. Please feel free to jump in and ask questions. Otherwise, it's, I think, a very flexible program that we're quite fortunate to host and be able to collaborate with a lot of different providers. So I think we're always open to ideas and working with other providers to help better support people. So I will hand over to Amanda and Rodney. Thank you.
I've just got some slides to share. Could you just please let me know that these are showing up okay for you? Can you see that okay?
Yep, perfectly.
Okay, good.
All right, so I think we'll keep it short and sweet, and then you can ask questions and you can find out all the additional information that you need that's relevant to you. So VMCH is a Catholic organisation that delivers various services all over Victoria, including the Victorian Support for Carers program. We're the providers for that state program in the Eastern Metro region. So this program is available all over the state, and we just deliver it in the Eastern Metro region. And as I understand it, some providers do things a bit differently. So there's sort of two sides to our program. There's the case management side of things that I'll hand over to Rodney to talk about. And then there's also the carer engagement side of things. So after Rodney's sort of spoken about how people become linked in with the program and how case management works and what that looks like, I'll just touch on the engagement side of things. So are you okay to start talking about case management and things, Rodney?
Yep, thanks, Amanda. So with our, I guess, the case management side, it's open to all carers. For a long time, it was only carers in the aged care space, but we were then able, under new guidelines and changing guidelines, we're now open to all carers, be it carers of aged, disability and younger carers as well. We've actually now got a dedicated case manager for younger carers. And what we do, you know, of course, one of the roles is supporting carers. It may be offering, you know, some funding towards services if they've got a package and it's, you know, it's exhausted, or, you know, maybe they're waiting for a higher level package and we might provide some support for funding in that respect. But one of the key roles we do is really support the carers, both emotionally, but also guide them. What we find and what I find is, I mean, in a week, there'd probably at least be 4 times a week where I'd have at least an hour conversation with the carer. Just emotionally, they're, you know, helping them through the day, answering their questions, you know, building their confidence, because, you know, quite often they're feeling like their world's falling apart. And that's how that's how I work, and that's how most of the team work. We'll guide them. If they've got no services in place, we'll guide them through. So we'll link them in with whether it's CHSP or even from right at the beginning. I've got a client at the moment I'm helping, and we're starting from the basics of managed care, because he has no idea. He's cared for his wife who has PSP for the last 15 years. And, you know, suddenly he's like, oh, there's all, you know, there's stuff available. So it's a work in progress with him though, because he still finds it hard to want to relinquish any of the caring role. You know, he can't get it, you know, he finds it difficult for someone else to do the job because he's not sure and he's scared, and he does it all and he's always done it. So part of our role is also about, you know, reminding carers that we're not there to take over their responsibility. We're there to help them and support them in their caring role. You know, caring role is a 24/7 job. And, you know, if we can put in a service for a couple of hours and show them the benefit, it's amazing how it changes their whole outlook. But it is, as I said, a work in progress. For carers registering, so the process for us at the moment is carers would ring our intake team, provide them with the details, which is on the screen. Thank you, Amanda. Provide them with their details, a bit of a history of their situation, and what type of supports they're needing or thinking about. Quite often they have no idea, they don't know, but quite often they also do, and there'll be specific needs that they want. That then gets taken to our team meeting and allocated to a case manager, and a case manager then gives them a call hopefully within about a week. It just depends on the situation and how many referrals have come through in that week. And then they're with that case manager for a period of time, as long as sometimes it can be a long time. Our program is short term. And yes, they can, once they're registered as carers, they're registered as long as they're in that caring role. So they can continue attending events. But when it comes to the case management side, it's more in and out. So they might come in initially, we might provide them with a few supports, and then if everything is settled, we'd send them on to monitoring. And they can come back at it, they can ring at any time and go, this has happened, I suddenly need this. And we'll then, either the case manager will take it back on, or one of our monitoring team may be able to just provide what small assistance they might need. We try and do it, we call it short term, but it really is dependent on the carer and what their needs are. I've had a carer for the past nearly 7 months. I'm slowly able to hopefully move her out of monitoring because she has now starting to get settled, but it's taken a long time. And, quite often it may be that weekly phone call that she needs and that chat just to get her over, through the next week. So that's a lot of what we do. We're always open. We've got lots of new ideas. And we're very fortunate because it's a state-run program, we've also got a lot of flexibility in what we can do. So, it can be assisting with funding of purchase of equipment. It may be towards home modifications, although because our funding's limited, there's not a lot of money to provide, but it might be something small. In-home respite, we can also fund residential respite, which again is different to most providers, even with HCP, and that's because it's not considered, because we're not federal government, it's not considered as double dipping. So we're able to provide that funding. And again, if that's where the carer's need is, we're happy to see, we're happy to do whatever we can to provide support. So, is there any questions so far? We are all really friendly. We'll try to be.
Maybe I'll just quickly touch on engagement as well, for asking the questions again. Oh, before I do that, can I just, it might be common knowledge to you, but I'll just point out that our program is completely separate from Carer Gateway. So Carer Gateway is the way to access Commonwealth funded supports for carers, and we're completely separate, and accessing support from one program doesn't impact whether you can from the other. In fact, where appropriate, I'd recommend that carers link in with both, just so they get a good spread of the maximum support available to them. And also because Carer Gateway are who to go to if you need emergency respite. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rodney, but would probably need like at least a day or two to sort of organise respite and support at short notice.
Yeah, we'd need at least probably 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And they've got to be providers that are registered with us, or at least registered under the guidelines. And I think Carer Gateway has a little bit more flexibility and are able to do that emergency respite, within, quite often even a few hours, they can organise funding for that.
And you can also call them after hours as well. They're a 24-hour service, whereas we're just within business hours. So I'll just quickly talk about carer engagement, which is designed to improve the well-being of carers, to address, social isolation and things like that. So before COVID, we were doing things like perhaps smaller events like creative workshops, educational workshops, and also some really nice things like going to theatre shows and going out for nice dinners and musicals and things like that, movies, that sort of thing. Since COVID, we've been providing like a fair bit of leisure activities, but all online via Zoom. So there can be creative activities. We've done some cooking classes now, some exercise, some meditation and relaxation, self-care, art therapy. Looking after plants has been pretty popular. So we've been putting on some plant-related workshops, and our decisions are guided by whatever the carers are letting us know what they want to do or what they need. We've also been doing some educational workshops as well. We recently did a collaborative one with Carer Gateway, ourselves, Yarra Rangers and Japara Living and Learning Centre, just to make carers aware that there are like various areas of support that they can access. So there's like a tiered levels of support, and they can access all of those. We really want carers to sort of get out there and just make sure that they know what's available. In addition to the events and activities, we also do some community development type activities as well. So we network and try to build relationships with other relevant organisations and services, facilities and schools, to just address whatever needs the carers accessing their programs or services need. We're also we're trialling a tech training program for older carers at the moment as well, which has been successful, but it's still very much in the trial stage, and there's still some little kinks we need to iron out before we can evaluate it and say that it's effective and viable. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if that all goes well, hopefully early next year, we'll be able to get more and more older carers connected online as well, so they can access our engagement activities and also just learn to FaceTime their friends and access other support groups and activities that are available in the community. I think that's it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. If I have, Rodney, let me know.
Yeah, no, I think we've covered it. Just one other thing we do, I guess, is we also do a lot of referrals. I think last week I did 2 referrals to DSA, and doing another one this week for clients that need it. So it is about us, we're very strong on link, because we're short term. Our goal is to link people into longer term groups, organisations or supports. We always look at Caledonia. We've got our own Carinya that we'll always refer to and try and use that. Excuse me, for clients to go to as well. So we're always open to other organisations that are willing to sort of come on board and help and say, well, we've got this service if you've got clients who are in this situation.
Great. So does anyone have any questions for Amanda and Rodney?
Can I just ask if you find you're giving different types of support since March this year? Are people looking for more support or different support through COVID? Or has it been much of a muchness?
No, it's been really different. People really have been really scared to get any supports, especially in the home.
Yeah.
They've been really mindful, and sometimes it's really been hard to sort of what we need to get, and also them not being able to go out. So, when we're talking about in-home respite, often they'll say, well, there's no point because I can't go anywhere.
Mm.
And that then affects how things are. So it's been a bit challenging. We've found how we've sort of tried to support people more. We've supported them more with some of the other stuff. So we're linked in with we've linked in with the dinner ladies and able to provide meals, especially with kids at home. So families are all home, they're all eating heaps, and parents are going, I don't have time to do it all. So we're linking, we're trying to do that. We're offering, for those that are really in need, Coles vouchers that have been really quite important. Because people aren't even wanting to try a residential respite. And there is a real burnout. I think as we're starting to slowly come out of it, COVID, and people are going to be more at ease about maybe someone coming to the home, it's going to be a real influx of people going, I can get out now, I need a break. And it'll be quite interesting to see how things, we manage that. But it has been really difficult. People have just not wanted people to come in the home, which is very different to normally where it's going, hey, we can do this, we can organise this. It's like, nope.
I actually had a question as well around the number of referrals. Have you noticed an increase or a decrease with the amount of people being referred to your program with COVID over the last sort of 6 months?
It's increased, but I feel it's increased also because the guidelines have expanded who we can support. So, for a long time, it was really just people caring for someone aged, whereas now, and I think especially because of COVID and all kids being home, parents that are looking after kids with disabilities, it's been a real struggle for them, and they need a lot of that emotional support, and also trying to link them in with other, breaks wherever they can. So it's definitely increased. There are some weeks we'll have 15, 16 referrals to be divided up again between, I think, 7 case managers. So, and it can be pretty full on. And some of them are like, I need help now. And it's really, sometimes at crisis point. So yeah, Elizabeth, it has increased. And as I said, I think once, people are more at ease about returning to having services in the home, it's going to increase again, and people are just going to be calling. Even those that are already registered will be calling again, going, I need to be reallocated, I need some more supports.
It's Bernadette from Dementia Australia. I'm interested in your younger carers. So we are getting more and more younger onset clients. So of course we've got lots of carers who are children in their teens or early 20s. Do you have any capacity for that sort of thing, or even there's a need there seems to be for a support group for that age group, because they just sort of slip through the gaps? Yes. So would you do anything in that area?
Yeah, we do. As I said, we've now recently employed a full-time staff member for exactly that purpose. Okay. And they've got some experience in younger carers, so they can easily adapt, and we can easily take on more clients. So
Okay, that's good to know. So they can either self-refer or we can put a referral in if we think that there's yeah, okay, that's good, because there are,
we'd still need to be in touch with them.
yes,
because we need their consent, of course, but
of
also
course.
because they're the carers, so they're the ones that are going to be getting the support. But yeah, there's no problem with that.
That's good to know, yeah.
It would be worth getting in contact with Little Dreamers as well. They're an independent organisation just for supporting carers under 25.
Okay. I shall check them out. Thank you.
Any other questions for Amanda and Rodney?
I've got one. I was just noticing on that other slide that you had at the bottom that you can be advocates as well. Just wondering what kind of situations you're talking about for advocating here with services, with my aged care.
Yeah. So we, and I've done a few recently. We will actually walk them through the whole my aged care, which, you know, as professionals, we can sometimes find it to be a minefield, let alone if you're a carer under all the stress in the world with no idea. So we will actually, we'll walk them through every step of the way. And I've actually even attended the ACAS assessments with the
Oh,
care.
okay.
Yeah, because I find they get really nervous and scared and feel, you know, they're already feeling that burden that they're not coping anymore. And you know, we really focus on them understanding that they're doing an amazing job. We're not trying to take their role away from them, because that's what a lot of them feel. Excuse me. And so, yeah, I've been to quite a few ACAS assessments, and I found it really beneficial because they sit there and they'll pretend like they don't need help. They can do it all. And I well, you know, I'll actually quite often, you know, talk to the assessor beforehand. If I know, sometimes I'll meet them outside, or I'll welcome them into the house and give them a quick heads up. Or when we're leaving, I'll have a quick chat to them and say, you've seen this, please understand they're at their best today. I can't believe how well they're doing, because they would just fly through it. And, you know, it's probably taking them every effort in the world, but they manage it. So yeah, no issues with that. We're also linking them in with any other service. So I'll trial, for example, in-home respite or some personal care, because they've never had anything like that, and it seems to work. I'll then link them in with, you know, my aged care, get a referral for CHSP, and then link them into the provider. Or recently I've done 5 clients in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks where the support we've been providing has really been exhausted funding wise. I've linked them into Carer Gateway. And
I guess
if I feel they can do it themselves, they do. If they really need that help, I'm happy to do it for them.
I guess that leads me on to ask about your involvement you can have with NDIS.
Yep, so with NDIS, it's very similar. I mean, we've got a couple of case managers are probably more, have a better understanding than others. But we're all flexible and we all help each other out. So even regarding, I was talking to one of my colleagues this morning who's doing exactly that. They're doing an NDIS application.
Right.
So,
yeah, because I guess that's one of the areas with our younger onset dementia people we come across with, where we can't actually step in at Dementia Australia until after the access point where they've been accepted into the NDIS. So it's always good to know if anyone's out there who can help with that before that.
We can definitely help with that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Look, can I ask? I'm Heather from ACAS. I'm glad you were quite positive about ACAS, Rodney. We're very friendly too. But I'm just interested in terms of the advocacy for people who are waiting for home care packages and then are assigned packages but need assistance to, again, navigate the system to work out which provider to go through. Are you able to assist with that sort of thing as well?
Yeah, we do, Heather. We won't specifically lead them in direction of providers. But what I've done in the past is I give them the tools to do it themselves. So I explain to them what to look for. I explain to them, what they've got to watch out for, whether it's fees or charges or whether they can provide a service and so forth. Quite often they may have had a provider already providing a service, so they'll go to that provider. Yeah, so we're very strong. I mean, we work for VMCH, but because our program is state, we're very much about what the carer needs. And we get other providers, making referrals to us. And there's no problem with that. We're not, we don't sort of favour one over the other.
Yeah. Because often they'll come back to us at the time that they've been assigned the package. It may have been months since we've seen them, and they'll want advice about how to access the package, how to, find out which provider to go through. And it's very difficult. We're not funded to really provide that sort of assistance, but also, again, we can't recommend specific providers, but it's sort of more navigating the system that they need the help with. So that sounds like that you're able to do that, which is good.
Do that. I quite often, again, guide them through it.
Yep.
Through the My Age Care website, and I'll talk it through them. So they'll hop online and they'll do it, and I'll just talk it through them, and I'll follow them because I'll hop online myself. So we're all at the even steps. And I've done that a few times, and it works really well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
One thing, Rodney, I just wanted to ask about, I know pre-COVID, you or a member of the team would do a joint home visit with, say, a home care package case manager, whether that was internally or externally. So whether it was a VMCH home care package or the referrer might have been the case manager from another provider. Is that still a service that you can and will offer, in the current COVID climate and going forward?
At the moment, most of our assessments are done over the phone, but we are looking at getting back to home visits, and that's what we always have done. And it's really important, I think, because I find when you're over the phone and you're talking to a carer, what quite often happens is the carer goes, I need this, and that's all. And when you go out and visit them and you see the situation and you probe a bit further, you see there's so many more layers to their situation, and they just don't realise that there's support available. So, yeah, I think shortly we will be going to home visits, and we're always willing. Again, I've done joint visits with case managers from VMCH, but I've done some joint visits with in the past with other providers. Quite often, if it's going to make the carer feel more at ease, we'll do whatever it takes.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Thank you very much, Rodney and Amanda. I think that was...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that someone else? Did I just hear something? Or maybe that's interference from somewhere. Oh, someone got something in the background, Sarah. Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Amanda and Rodney. And I guess if anyone does have an idea or a need that it sounds like your service might be able to help support, is it just a phone call they would need to make to the intake officers to have that conversation?
They could, yeah, they could call the intake officers. I've also, and Amanda and I have done a couple of info sessions, and I've also said, look, if you want to ring the 1300 650, no, wrong one. What is it? I haven't run it for a while.
Is it 1300 971 720?
That's the one. Oh, I'm all confused. And as for me, I'm happy to speak with you. I mean, I've already sort of met with you all now, and I know it's a lot more easier sort of speaking to someone you know than sort of coming across someone new. So by all means, just give me a call, or if it's something to do with, you know, events or care engagement, you can ask for Amanda, and I'm sure Amanda, like me, would be more than willing to sort of have a chat, whether it's a specific question or even just a general question.
We have a referral form as well. I don't know if I've sent that to you, Sarah, but I can send that again to you as well, if that's helpful.
And, sorry, thank you. Just one other final thing, Amanda, a question, but also a broader question that I guess I want to open up to the group here. Around our dementia carers specifically, I know previously we had a dementia carer support group that was held monthly face-to-face, and that was really successful. And there was a very strong peer support focus to that group. And my last understanding, this might be out of date, was that the group wasn't really working in an online format through COVID. Is that where things were left as far as?
Yeah, well, I was trying to sort of rejuvenate that face-to-face group in an online form. And many of them were, and this is really common, we see this a lot with the tech training program as well for older carers, is that it's really difficult for some dementia carers whose care recipients have really high needs to be at home with their care recipient while they're trying to access support groups and do other activities and things. So that was the reason. So I contacted all of the dementia carers that we have on our books, actually, and including the old face-to-face, well, not the old one, it'll get back eventually, but yeah, they were all citing a bit of disinterest in using the Zoom platform for that reason, and also because as I understand it, it was just a space for them to really kind of just voice everything, like all their frustrations, and get a lot of emotional support, like in that face-to-face environment that wasn't going to translate, or they didn't feel would translate that well on Zoom. So that's where we're sort of at with that. We have started collaborating with Umbrella Dementia cafes who were experiencing the same problem. So their approach now is to have activities where if it's appropriate, we can organise activities for when their care recipients are having a nap, or we can include their care recipients as well. So we've just started with them, and that seems to be going really well. We'll have our sort of first official session with them at the end of this month, and the idea is that the carers from the Umbrella Dementia cafes tell us what information they need, or what they want to do, or what leisure activities they want to do, and then we design each session based on what they want. So yeah, that's a little bit of a way of sort of getting around the barriers to a traditional sort of support group where that might not work in a Zoom situation, but there are other things you can do and other ways to support people and connect. So yeah, we also, for example, had a situation where we were doing the tech training, which is done via Zoom. The training company is located in Sydney, and we had a carer whose husband was like very suspicious that she was talking to someone on a screen, and she's like, who is this? And she was having a lot of difficulty concentrating and learning. So the next week we actually included him, like we made a big effort to say hello to him and be really friendly and engage with him throughout the hour of training, and that seemed to work really well. I've tried suggesting that to another carer in our next training group, and she said that approach won't work. So we've got to organise the training for when her respite support is there. So it's just, yeah, just a matter of sort of being flexible and trying new things. Yeah.
Thank you. And I guess I wanted to then open it up to the other people here. If there are any identified needs or anything that comes to mind, well, we've got Amanda and Rodney here, where you might be able to work in and collaborate with them and the Carer Support Program in addressing some kind of need or gap or something that, you know, carers or care recipients have brought to you in your programs. I don't know.
I guess from my point of view, and we've had to put all of our stuff online as well, obviously, but working in the early intervention team, one of the things we found is that we have been able to engage with the person with dementia at the same time as the carer over Zoom quite successfully. And we have managed to get them to break up into split groups at times where I can work with the carer by themselves or the person with dementia by themselves. But that works because I can get the person with dementia by themselves first, so they've had their turn, and then they go out of the room and then the carer has their turn. So it with the earlier stages, it's possible. But yeah, like you say, with the later stages where there's more issues, we have had to rely on respite interventions at the same time as the carer group happens. I guess the need that I've found is coming through a lot at the moment is we've had, for whatever reason, an absolute influx of younger onset dementia referrals. We're getting younger people in through at an unbelievable rate. And we're finding that the carers of people with younger onset dementia don't really want to go to the traditional carer support group for people with dementia because they're old. So that's a real gap that I found, is finding carer specific group support for people, for carers of younger onset dementia. Yeah.
Rebecca, if you've got those, because a lot of those wouldn't necessarily have supports in place, we can also help with that. So if you're sort of having you've sort of outlined, and even whether it's on, now Zoom or when we go back to one-on-ones, and they're having trouble because they cannot get away, by all means, they can register with us and we can provide that respite, and we've got lots of organisations, and we can send someone out. They can take the person for a walk or a drive or for a coffee, and that gives you that one-on-one time that you need. So by all means, if those situations arise, we're always willing to sort of, accommodate.
So Rodney and maybe Amanda more so, could a group be developed for younger onset dementia specific carers? Yeah, great.
Yeah. I think that's often easier. We promote services. So if we were able to give a flyer and say, look, this is a younger carers group, then it's much more like, they won't necessarily see, if you're working full time at 45, 50, you don't want to go and just access services necessarily, but you might want to join a group. So there needs to be a group, I suppose, in existence, or at least the potential of a group. So I think there would be people, and they probably,
to be honest, yeah, if you decided to start a younger onset dementia carer support group tomorrow, we could probably fill it for you.
Easy.
Yeah.
And that's without the other ones I said before, the children of them, which is the really young ones. So you've got two layers, is the 50.
We've got the 50 plus or so age group, and then we've got the 20 or so.
And then you've got the children.
Yeah, because we don't run support groups per se, just don't have that level of that capacity. I suppose we do run an FTD one, but again, they're mostly older because our numbers generally, but for some, and I think part of it, what I'm hearing is a lot of the CADMs are actually not doing any diagnoses. So all our older age group are just sitting in limbo, and our YOD clients are getting diagnosed at the rate of knots. I don't understand that, but.
And I think that's where we've changed as well. So we've really had to adapt from that, 9 till 5 with the occasional evening to now we're doing a lot more evening.
Okay, that's interesting.
So forth. Yeah, Amanda and Heather, who are the two engagement officers, are doing a lot. They're even doing a couple of weekend, like Saturdays, you know.
Wow.
So again, it's about that changing and having to adapt. And they get, you know, I guess we're getting a lot more even working carers, aren't we, Amanda?
Yeah, we are too.
Actually attend on a Saturday or an early morning Zumba or a evening class.
Yeah.
We can collaborate with that with you on that as well, Rebecca.
Yeah, it'd be great to know.
Specifically, while our carer support groups are online, I've had inquiries from Stonington and a whole lot of areas.
Yeah.
And we'd be more than happy to put a session on in conjunction with VMCH or, each of us if there's a need. But don't forget too, we've actually got quite robust Zoom programs running for people who are in those younger stages. And some of our clientele are people living with younger onset dementia. We can take people before they've got an NDIS package, after they've got an NDIS package, or if they've chosen not to have one at all. We've still got a little bit of hack pit funding. And again, while we're online, it doesn't matter what area people live in, they are most welcome. Just shoot us an email.
Yeah, that's actually one of the little silver linings we've found with the online stuff is we've had people from all over the state coming in to our online stuff. So that was actually going to be a question because I work a lot with Southern and Peninsular clients. That's my main area. So I was going to ask if, if there was an online aspect, would that be a barrier?
Not at this stage. Not at this stage.
But it would for ours.
It would for yours. Okay. Yeah. But again, at least if we connect with, so go.
Oh, sorry. I can send through to Sarah as well to distribute a list of providers all over the state that provide the same program as we do.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Because like Rebecca said, we're now finding that we're no longer zoned like we were. And if there's a group running, we're getting people from everywhere. And then they're asking us, well, what's happening in their region? I don't know. I can hardly keep up with the eastern region, let alone everywhere else. It's so hard. You guys, there, as you said, trying to put together a directory. That is such a great idea.
Oh, well, I didn't put it together. It's
no. I know Sarah. Elizabeth will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elizabeth, go on.
Well, I was just going to ask about Carrington Cafe, whether they're still running for their younger onset dementia group.
I heard they were. I understand they're still, last time I spoke to Deb, she said they're still running online. So they're still going. And I think Maranoa House is still running their art program online. So there's still a couple around, but it's very hard to remember and connect.
And that's something, I think that's one of the aims of this group and groups like this that Sarah and I were really intending on bringing together providers so we can all share our referrals and our clients and our carers and care recipients and just, pool resources to try to, if a program's not currently in existence, maybe the creation of a program. Luckily, there's services like the, Carer Support Program that Amanda and Rodney work for, who are so flexible that you could create a group that's not currently in existence. So I think it's really good to, really push that collaboration a bit harder than perhaps we have in the past. Sorry, Sarah, through to you.
That's all right. I forgot what I was going to say. The moment passed.
That's right.
Apologies.
If I've put a note in the chat, but if anyone isn't on our mailing list and has had the invite from someone else, please just shoot me an email at Caledina and I will add you to the list. And Elizabeth, will we just say who's coming up in the next couple of meetings?
That'd be good.
So on the, I've turned the page over, on the 4th of November, we have Professor Felicity Baker from the Melbourne University. She's going to specifically talk about, she's a music therapist, but she's specifically talking about the Homeside project, which is running in Australia and Europe, trialling music and reading interventions for people with dementia in the home. That's running in 4 or 5 countries across Europe and England, plus in Australia. And she'd love to tell us about that. And then on the 18th, we've got Kate Swaffer coming to talk specifically about the peer-to-peer support groups being run by Dementia Alliance International. So a bit of a change. Kate's usually talking about her advocacy work for people with younger onset dementia, but she'll be talking about the benefits of those peer-to-peer support groups and how they run and how you can refer people with younger onset dementia to those. And then on the 2nd of December, we've got Kirsty Porter from the Umbrella Cafe going to talk to us about how that's working and how to get people included in that. So some really diverse speakers, we hope, that people will be interested in coming to listen to.
Yeah, but again, if anyone has any ideas or suggestions or requests, please throw them our way. This is a very open, very broad forum, so we're just inviting along anyone that has, you know, relevant information to share that's sort of dementia specific, and particularly during COVID and then the recovery from the pandemic, we're very much just wanting to get all the information out there. So thank you very much. I think, is that it for today, Sarah?
That's it for me.
Good early mark. That's nice.
Thank you very much again to Amanda and Rodney, and thanks everyone for coming along.
Thank you, everyone. I'll
Thank
send out the link to the recording.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.